والآن مع شخصية استثنائية. هو رجل أعمال دولي وصاحب بصمة كبيرة في مجال الاقتصاد والاستثمار والسياسة. رئيس مجلس إدارة القمة واللي هيشاركنا رؤيته النهاردة بكلمة بعنوان My Drive to Succeed. Ladies and gentlemen, give a warm welcome to Sir Mohamed Mansour.
إيه العظمة دي؟ والله حاجة تفرح بجد يعني بجد. Lamia, thank you so much. And good morning, everyone. Your Excellency, Dr. Rania Mashat, Your Excellency, Dr. Ashraf Subhi, Your Excellency, the Governor of the Red Sea, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's a true honor for me to be with you here today for the 9th summit, Narrative Summit. And I have to say, over the last decade, this event has become very important in the Middle East. Please join me in giving a big hand to Lamia for the excellent work she's done. Also to Lamia's staff and also the sponsors and everybody involved. Honestly, such an amazing achievement, Lamia. It's a real pleasure to be here in such a beautiful surrounding and in such great weather. And when I say the word great weather, I moved to the UK in 2009. And when I was there, they told me it's a lovely day when the sun was out. I didn't understand, because it rains 360 days a year. But here, we have 365 days of sun, of beautiful weather. And it's an amazing, what a beautiful place we're in. And really what's very heartwarming for me today is to see so many old friends that I saw a lot of them yesterday and today, and familiar faces. It reminds me of what makes this country so great. It's you, and you, and you, and everybody sitting here in this auditorium. The great people of Egypt. So much passion, so much drive, and so much innovation. For generations, centuries, millennia, it is what made Egypt so special. We are an iconic nation with thousands of years of history that has inspired the great storytellers of the world. At this event, we're fortunate that we will have the acclaimed historian, Bethany Hughes. Bethany, could you stand up, please? She's here to reflect on our unique history and how it shapes the perception of Egypt outside. We thank her for everything she has done for Egypt, including our tourism industry, and we are grateful that she is joining us today. In Egypt, one can testify that we are surrounded by so many ancient sources of inspiration, above all the pyramids. When I gaze up at them from my house in Giza, it seems anything is possible. These magnificent monuments of stone have always inspired me, but it was my parents, Allah yarhamhum, who taught me that you need passion as well as inspiration to succeed in life. A passion and a purpose in life. Without those things, we will struggle to overcome obstacles or find solutions to greatest challenges. We've all faced challenges in our lives. And for me, I can tell you straight out, nothing ever came easy. Resilience and determination were the things that got me through some of the hardest moments of my life, whether it be health or financial. I even faced death twice, and I have known economic hardships. As a student in America, when the sequestration was done on my family, I barely had enough money to eat. I had to be able to feed myself, and waited tables for 2 years to be able to put myself through university. Years later in Egypt, when Egypt suffered some type of a recession in the 1980s and we came very close to bankruptcy. There were days in the evening when I would go home and say, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. This is how tough things were. But through these times and other struggles, my brothers and sisters never gave up. We never stopped fighting, and I have never lost my innate drive to succeed. I've left my book, which I did, by the way, during the pandemic. I was doing nothing for, like 8 months or 4 months and a half. So I dictated my life story about Egypt, about my childhood, about my family, about how Egypt has grown to be the great country it is, and the evolvement I've had to do in my life. And it is, I think we left you a copy. I hope you can enjoy it, because it shows something about struggles. Life is not easy. We didn't reach here where we are by doing nothing. So Egypt, as I see it today, has changed so much in my lifetime. Alexandria, where I grew up in the 50s, the pearl of the Mediterranean. I was going to Victoria College, riding the train in the morning, the tram, and walking, and when you get into the tram, you sit with the kids, and it was an amazing time in my life. This was the capital. Human as well as financial flocked into Egypt. People were coming from Europe. This is what Europe doesn't understand when they talk about immigration. Like immigration is bad. Egypt opened its doors in the late 40s and 50s to allow people to come in, French, Greek, Italian communities. And this built the diversity that we had, that we live through in Egypt today. During the first industrial revolution, the country flourished as a hub of commerce, especially in the cotton trade, and that was the trade my father did. And this is where I worked with him and I learned. I believe that the new industrial revolution that's happening today is going to be powered by AI and technology. And how this puts Egypt in the forefront with the bright young men and women that we have here is that it will create opportunities and have no boundaries to cross. A young man can be an entrepreneur, and he starts a business, and he can be able to do what he wants to reach different parts of the globe. But of course, tourism remains our great point of difference, our unique selling point. The Grand Egyptian Museum in Cairo, which I'm honored to be a trustee of, will be, in my opinion, the greatest museum on earth when it is fully opened, inshallah, in July. It will attract millions to this country. As well as tourism, in Egypt, we see large investment opportunities, and Dr. Rania Mashrad can say, in infrastructure, in real estate, in agriculture, in clean energy, in technology. There are many, many facets that the younger generation can think, and think out of the box, like I did, and like my brothers did, and like my sisters did, and like many Egyptians did. How to cross boundaries and how to make things work and be able to succeed in whatever you do. A sustainable economy is being created in Egypt, and my nephew, Mohamed Mansour, named after me, okay? I'm very proud of him, and of course, Lotfy, my other nephew, is here. I'm very proud of them too. As someone who has experience of working, I tell you, in the private sector. So I worked in the private sector till 2005, and then in government, 2005 to 2009. Now I'm back to the private sector again. And I believe, honestly, that the private enterprise in Egypt, everybody sitting here, has a big role to play in creating the new Egypt. We can't sit and say, things are tough, things are bad. Life is competitive. Everybody has an agenda. We have an agenda. You have to make things work. And I'm sure with the capacity of the Egyptian people, we'll be able to make it work. But I truly believe that I feel very strongly that we should do so as the private sector with purpose and a sense of responsibility. The government cannot do everything. We have a responsibility to play as Egyptian entrepreneurs and philanthropists and human beings to help the community. But as entrepreneurs, we know we have to give back to the country that gave us. We have to all pay back to this country and to the community that we have. My father, God rest his soul, was a philanthropist before the word philanthropy was known. I used to see him every Friday, taking me when I was a child and trying to help whoever we could. He was one of a generation of entrepreneurs who believed in Egypt, and he continued to invest in this country till the last day. Exactly 50 years ago, he founded the automotive group, Mansour Chevrolet as we know it. And I'll tell you the story how we named it Mansour Chevrolet, because when we founded it, everybody was selling Chevrolets. And I was educated in the US, and I said, we have to have a brand. And I saw this. So I went to the Ahli team, which we're all supporters of, and we put Mansour. So I was known as Mr. Mohamed Chevrolet. That's the partnership that he signed, my dad, Allah yarhamu, with General Motors expanded our horizons. We've had challenges, as I mentioned. A few years later, we built our first factory in Egypt back in 1983. When nobody wanted to do it, that took guts, that took vision, which has gone to produce today. Last time I was here 2 months ago, we celebrated selling 1 million cars from this factory. Later this week, we're going to break ground because people are saying the economy and whatever. Later this week, we're going to break ground on a new factory in Cairo that will assemble and manufacture the next generation of motor vehicles, including electric vehicles and hybrid models. We will invest $150 million in this new factory and its auxiliary functions. Once operational, it will support 10,000 direct jobs and will export vehicles to the Middle East, to Africa, and hopefully to Europe. Like Egypt's people, we never stand still. We look to the future. I always say I never look at my shadow. I always think of what's coming. How can we change? I'm 77 years old. I wake up at 4 in the morning, and I'm working daily. We look into the future. We keep pushing, and driving on. We, as Egyptians, are resilient people, 7,000 years of history. We're passionate and hardworking. As a family, we have diversified. We have discovered new markets and new opportunities. It is amazing to me that this young man who grew up in Alexandria could go on to oversee a business group that employs 60,000 people around the world and has over 100 offices everywhere in the world, a global company. A few years after we began working with General Motors, we added Caterpillar. I'm just giving you the history just to give you a flair. The company was called Mantrac. We said Mansour and tractor, so we said Mantrac, and that's how the name came. It's been helping to transform the infrastructure in Egypt. Ever since, we've had projects, Toshka, the new Suez Canal, and the Cairo monorail, and many, many, many other projects. How was this achieved? Through the people, the staff, and the colleagues that we have in the companies that work with us. And we also, through my brother Yassine, we established one of the region's largest real estate company, Palm Hills. All this is just thinking out of the box. There are huge opportunities in this country for the younger generation, because I keep hearing, what are opportunities for the younger generations today? I think the opportunities for the younger generation today are better than they were for many, many years ago. In 2002, we formed the LEAD Foundation. The LEAD Foundation, and this is one of the things, it was the most proudest thing I've done in my life, and nobody, I think, sitting in this room knows that the LEAD Foundation belongs to the Mansours. The LEAD Foundation provided loans for 6 million women in Egypt. Its purpose speaks to the philanthropy that I inherited from my father. He believed, as I do, that wealth creators have a responsibility to support those who are less fortunate, but to do so in the right way, to create opportunities for others, to give a hands up, not a handout, help them to create something to build a life for themselves. Which brings me to the final point of address this morning. Those of you who attended the Narrative Summit last time, 18 months ago, I mentioned something briefly called Right to Dream, and we have His Excellency, the Minister of Sports here. This Right to Dream was an academy we acquired back in 2021. It's a non-dividend football group that we had recently acquired. So much has happened to that organization since then that I would like to give you an update, because we believe that we are setting out to do will create new opportunities for Egypt. What this academy does, I was asked by one of the board members of Caterpillar if we can help an academy in Ghana, sub-Saharan Africa, to build football pitches for younger people. So we built, my son Lotfy went there, and he said to me, Father, you have to see this. And we built not one pitch, but 9 pitches for them. Today, the Right to Dream Academy has 150 professional footballers that are playing football around the top football clubs in the world. Today, the Right to Dream Academy has 120 students from different parts of the world that have received scholarships from Stanford, from UCLA, from Duke, from Harvard, and from Cambridge. So when I heard this story, I said, we will do it. So we bought Right to Dream. And then I told them, come to Egypt. And the management then said, but Mr. Mansour, Egypt is not on our radar screen. I said, just go. Mohamed Salah is one of the greatest ball players in the world today. I'm sure we have a lot of potential players. So we created Right to Dream then. And we'll talk about it, and I have Mohamed Lotfy, who is the CEO who heads up Right to Dream in Egypt. He'll tell you a little bit about it, because this is something really I'm very passionate about, because I think it hits the right buttons and it has the right purpose. He will talk about the opportunities that Right to Dream will create for young men and women in Egypt in the coming years. But before I want to introduce Mohamed to the stage, I want to explain why we're making this investment in football and education. The Right to Dream organization, as I mentioned, was founded in 1999. And then we grew it, and the opportunity came to buy the license in the United States for the 30th license in the MLS, which is the Premier League in soccer. So without hesitation, we did this. We invested in this. And this was done in May 2023, when we celebrated. But last December, I was in New York because attending the board of the MLS, and December 12th, I asked how many we're supposed to play on February 23rd of this year, 2025, which is 2 months. I said, how many players do we have in the squad so far? We're a startup. They told me 7. I said, 7, how are we going to play? I mean, we can't play with 7. So, but by February 23rd, we had a squad of 25 players from Ghana, from Scandinavia, from Europe, from Argentina, from everywhere. And everybody, on television in America was saying, San Diego, out of 30 teams, will come to be number 30, because it's a startup. They call it an expansion team. The other teams have been playing for years, and they have, till I was up on Sunday at 4:30 in the morning watching the match on Apple TV. And we won 3-0, and we are rated now, we're ranked number 2 out of 30 teams. So, the point I'm trying to say is there are no hurdles to success. There are no hurdles to challenge. Resilience is so important in our life, and we just have to move on and not look in our shadow and say, this is what it was. What's coming next? Because the world has become so competitive. When I bought Right to Dream, I sat with 3 of the graduates just to show you a little bit of what it felt for me. One of them was a guy called Hussein Bouda. He is from Burkina Faso, and he was graduating from Stanford. He got a scholarship through Right to Dream. He went to Stanford, he went to high school, then went to Stanford, and then got drafted in the American League of Football. And he told me, Mr. Mansour, when I was 10 years old, I used to walk every morning because he came from, a single mother. And my job, I would be a street fighter. So I would fight in the streets for coins to bring out for my family to be able to eat. And as a result, today, Hussein Bouda is a professional player, graduated from Stanford. His life has been transformed. And it's things like this that really, hit the heart of of the work that has been done. So I see this academy. So like I said, we have 120 kids, young men and women that have graduated, that got scholarships from universities. And to conclude, I want to say this. I am a proud Egyptian. I am continually inspired by Egypt. As a people, we are fighters. We are winners. We are innovators. We support our community. And we pay homage and respect to the past, to our elders, to our families. But more, we look to the future, how to improve ourselves and better ourselves. And before Mohamed Lotfy joins us, I'd like to see a video that was shown to the crowd. Our first game, by the way, I didn't sleep that night. Our first game, because we played, you see I'm very passionate about this. I didn't sleep. All night I was very nervous. So, because we have the largest stadium, 34,000, and I said, if it's empty, then we were playing LA Galaxy, which was the champion last year. So all night I was, I hope we don't get 6-0, we don't lose 6-0, we don't lose 5-0, we don't lose 2-0. Then God helped us, we won 2-0. And I was like, a child back again, growing up. And it was one of the biggest, nicest feelings I've had in my life. And in the morning, I went to the players. I hadn't met them. They were 25. And I said, what I'm going to tell them. So I went to there. I told them, I can see in your eyes, you guys are winners. You guys, we're going to win today. And we, the Mansours are winners. Egyptians are winners. We are winners. British are winners. We're going to win. Today, you go in, you give your heart, you give your best to your colleagues. Work as a team, and we will win. And when we won, the coach, who nobody knew him, I hugged him. I went down to the field. He said, Mr. Mansour, thank you for trusting in me. And today, like I said, we're number 2 in the league. So please follow up. I hope to get some fans here in Egypt also. It'll mean a lot. And I'm going to make a prediction. We're going to have great footballers and educators coming out of Egypt in the coming 5 years that are going to be world-renowned players. And I'm telling you, Right to Dream, as a family, we're going to do all we can. Having said this, and before Mohamed Lotfy comes on, can we please see the video?
San Diego.
You ready? Because we are. We've been waiting for this moment.
This isn't just your debut.
It's the newest chapter.
Any story.
We're all riding together.
We may wear different jerseys.
Playing on different fields.
live in different continents.
But we're all a part
of the same dream.
Every time we train.
Every time we dream big.
We think about where you are now.
So when you put on that jersey,
Remember what you're carrying.
A legacy.
A community.
a world of opportunity. And when you step onto that beach,
We'll all step in with you.
watching,
Support.
being part of your story,
Just like you are part of ours.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. You've been very kind. Thank you. Have a lovely, 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 lovely week. Thank you.